Hello Reformers, and welcome back to A Clash of Kings. Now, when we left off, we were all the way over there at Stony Sept, and they're all just chilling out there, I guess. I don't know. It seems like I've just left it to the wolves or the dogs or whatever you want to say. And they can just deal with that themselves, because I frankly don't care anymore about it, because we've just been spending way too much time cleaning up other people's messes and attempting to, well, consolidate our territory a little bit, and, well, it has just gotten a little bit out of hand, hasn't it? Because we always need to turn up to save X guy, Y guy, and Z guy, and it's not really working out too well for us in the end, because we're basically using all of our resources to save other people. And yeah, that's absolutely fine in the long run and in general, but then they don't reciprocate. Isn't that very sad? Yes, that is very sad indeed, because then we're kind of just, you know, either getting chased by someone, or we want to do a siege, you know, a pretty important siege, like for example taking Harrenhal back, like this, for example, and, well, there's just nothing to be done. It's the same kind of thing that was happening when we were at Acorn Hall, or Stony Sept, or wherever it was, and a bunch of Dragonstone vassals came by, and I was like, oh yes, help me out, Dragonstone vassals. And they were like, oh no, we're sorry, we're very busy. And I have no idea where they went or what they were doing, but they decided not to help me out. So now they've burned that bridge, and I'm not going to be helping them out, at least for 2 episodes. I don't even know, but yes, that's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment, because obviously, yeah, most of these sieges are quite frustrating for the most part, because, you know, even though they're not exactly that difficult, I mean, they are difficult, but they're not really going to pose that much of a challenge, with the exception of, well, Storm's End was pretty harsh, I gotta say. I mean, that took a lot of going in, retreating, and so on and so forth, so that's kind of annoying. But, well, at least we took it, I suppose. At least we took it. Now, the one thing that I actually wanted to do, I actually did want to go back down to Stormland's territory, and I wanted to try and take something. You know, I wanted to try and take one of those Stormland's fiefs, like, for example, taking maybe Mistwood, or even Fall Hall, or Blackhaven, or any of them, actually. I mean, I would have liked to have taken any of them, but they all have extremely difficult siege layouts. And because of the amount of archers in specific ones, you know, for example, Mistwood and Blackhaven both have an archer-centric siege defense layout, it makes it almost impossible to get in there without suffering massive casualties. And personally, I don't really want to suffer too many casualties just from taking a castle. Like, for example, taking Harrenhal, I think is quite important, because it is a strategic advantage to have this particular fief right here, because it's very, very close to Duskendale. It's close to the king. Yes, if I could speak. It's close to King's Landing. Yes, that's what I meant to say. It's close to King's Landing, and it's close to basically every other Westerlands fief in this area. And it's pretty good, you know? It's a pretty good thing to take, because it does tend to sort of cut off some trading routes and, you know, all that sort of thing. So that's pretty good. And on top of that, it's actually not even that difficult to win here either, which I'm very, very pleased about seeing that. I mean, look at that. Obviously, I don't think we've ever done a siege at Harrenhal before, so it is quite unique as well, which I do appreciate, because most of the time we're doing rehashes and things like that from native and, you know, all that. So it's kind of nice to actually get a siege layout that is unique and purpose-built for this mod in question. So that's pretty nice. And that makes things a little bit more refreshing, because I don't really want to be doing Blackhaven, for example, which is a rehash of I think it's a Saranid fief from native, I think. Yeah, it's that one where you go up the ladder and then there's a huge amount of archers above you, and they just rain down death and destruction and shoot you in the face, and that's not very nice. I mean, that is not very nice at all, if I say so myself. I mean, you know, just going up there just completely demoralizes you like nothing else. And that is the point. I mean, it's supposed to do that to the offensive force, but yeah, that kind of thing is not really fun. Not really fun. So obviously that's a bit of a problem, because I do like to have fun, and not having fun is a kind of a shame, really, because games are for fun in general, and you know, I mean, obviously everyone has a different perspective on that, but for me, games are for fun. And not having fun, as in going into Blackhaven and getting absolutely murdered by all of those archers, probably not the best idea. It's the same thing with Mistwood as well. That's the main reason why I moved away from Essos, because in previous versions of Clash of Kings, we have attempted to do a variety of different strategies. I think my most enjoyable one, at least for me, was probably where we... Yeah, there's two most enjoyable ones for me. One was where we started a faction in the Iron Islands, and we went toe-to-toe against the Iron Islands, against that faction. We went right up against them, you know, just one-on-one. Really, really cool battles, and hugely cool siege layouts as well. Siege layouts that are really unique to that area, and just really epic battles. That was really, really enjoyable. And then once we eliminated all of them, it was all fine and dandy, because we had our own set of islands to govern over. And then, of course, we had an update, as far as I'm aware, to the mod, and then I had to update, and then I lost the save, obviously, because you can't convert the save, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, that was one of them. And then the other one was where we helped the Targaryens, as I kill 51 there. That's not too bad. But yes, the other one was where I helped the Targaryens to get back on their feet, and I've told that story before in this series, so if you missed that, then, well, that's a shame. Anyway, let's see if I can do anything here. There's 4. Should I take some Raider Horsemen? Let's take the Raider Horsemen, I guess. Alright, so let's just take as much as we can get. I don't really want to take any more of these, and I'm not going to be requesting this. I don't see a point in requesting this, to be honest. It is a castle, as you can see. There's no marketplace or anything, so it's not really necessary for me to try and claim it. Alright, so I've waited here for a little bit of time just to make sure that we are back in kind of good spirits. As you can see, there's only one of us that is currently sleeping it off, so to speak. And we've had a visit. A number of visits, actually. One visit was from a fellow with near 300 units, and I can only assume that was Tyluz Lannister, or in the official case, Tywin Lannister. So, yes, otherwise, we did have a visit from that fellow over there and one of his accomplices, and they attempted to lay siege to this. As you can see, there's already 2 Dragonstone vassals in here, so I'm pretty happy that they're actually showing a slight interest, shall we say, in the area, because if they didn't, then I was just going to be very irritated indeed, because, you know, it's about time they actually make a bit of an effort, isn't it? Anyway, let's go for Darry now and see whether we can take this. Now, of course, this is, I believe, stationed with Gregor Clegane. He is actually in here. We have beaten him in a tournament before by me having an unfair advantage and shooting him in the face with a crossbow. Yes, if you remember that. And, well, let's just hope that we maybe have a bit of an advantage that way this time as well. It's highly unlikely that we'll be able to shoot him in the face this time, so let's just hope that we don't take too many casualties as a result of him being here. But otherwise, I think we're in pretty good spirits. I mean, we have a bunch of really, really good units. I mean, with the exception of the halberdiers, obviously they're not particularly good at these kinds of sieges, but look at this. There's actually not that many archers, which I'm very, very pleased to see, because them having a huge amount of archers and having an excellent siege layout is a massive, massive boon for the defenders, and I'm very, very happy that we're not seeing the likes of that here. So, yeah, it seems like just the leftover Stormlands fiefs are certainly going to be things that we need to get a bit of a handle on. But, again, I'm not a big fan of those at all. Okay, come on, guys, you can do this. I am being shot from somewhere. From the side? Being shot from there or shot from there? No, probably shot from there. Alright. Let's get a little bit ready then, shall we? Because no doubt we're going to be able to enter very, very soon. Let's see if we can do that. Come on. Oh, we're getting in. We're getting in. Yes, come on, push. Just a little bit more. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze here, so maybe we're going to have some difficulties getting inside, but... Oh, no! Oh. Okay. It seems like we slipped out for a second there, but it's okay, because we landed on some other people, and they're cheering us on, and it's all fantastic. So I guess we're just going to have to try and get back inside. Let's hope there's just as much of a gap as there was before. If not, then I don't know. I guess I'm just going to pull back all the people and then try and enter myself. I mean, there's not really much more I can do. I mean, there are a bunch of people up there, so can you please hurry? Hurry it up, hurry it up. Come on there. Yes, I need to get up there and in immediately. Yes, now don't slip out now, Elias. Yeah, there we go. Yes, nice jump. Nice jump. Good work. All right, so here we are. Let's do this. Let's teach them some manners, shall we? All right, this is going to be a pretty easy siege. Now, where is that him? Is that Gregor right there? He is huge. Wow, he's got a unique model. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that he had a unique model because in the tournament that we participated in, he didn't really pose too much of an imposing presence, did he? So he didn't really have a very large stature, did he? Or maybe I'm misremembering, or maybe it's just the fact that he was cut down pretty soon, wasn't he? So I guess that might be a reason, because we did kill him pretty fast. Anyway, let's see if I can kill these guys. Yep, no, there we go. That's what we like. Take that. Okay, there's one here. Slice him. Slice him and dice him. Kick him. Can I kick this guy off? Yep, there you go. Ah, I wanted him to take some damage, but no. Unlikely. From that height, that is. Alright, so it seems like we've gotten onto the battlements here, and my forces are now free, so that is fantastic. Now, I'm going to make my way over here with this mounted Dragonstone Sergeant. Hopefully he's going to do a good job here as well. Thrusty, oh yes, let's kill them all. Now this is good. This is the kind of thing I like to do. I like to go on really fast-paced besieging sprees. I personally feel like that is quite enjoyable because you're fighting in a wide variety of different environments, and if you're going up against different people, like different factions and things like that, then of course you're fighting against different units as well. But obviously in this case, not so much. But that's absolutely fine. I don't really mind about that. Yes, die. Yes, he fell off. That was awesome. That was really nice. And there you go. There's our forces on the other side there. Absolutely murdering everyone in their way. Now, of course, there are a very large amount of units down in the courtyard here. So I suppose what I'm going to do is... Oh, never mind. I thought I was going to go and help our forces, but it seems like they didn't need any assistance. So that's fine. But yes, anyway, we do need to now eliminate the huge amount of units in the courtyard here. Now I'm only hoping that our forces will be able to deal with them, because you know how it is sometimes with the AI. Sometimes they're like, oh, we don't know where to go. So I might have to tell them to follow me or something like that. They might require that little bit of extra attention. As you can see, there are quite a few units just walking into the wall here, and that is indeed a bit of a problem with the pathing, which is a shame, because, I mean, I'd like to be fighting these guys on even terms, to be honest, but some of the time that's just not it's just not possible due to the mod or whatever the case may be. Oh my, okay, so apparently they're foregoing their bugs and their pathing issues to murder me. Well, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. As long as you murder me in honorable combat, I have no problem with that at all. Because I have a feeling that we're probably going to be fine anyway, and I'm walking myself into a corner. That is not very good. Oh, I thought that was a doorway. Oh, it is actually a doorway, but not a good doorway. It's a closed doorway. Well, that was to be expected, wasn't it? Yes, it was to be expected. But that's absolutely fine. I really don't mind, because I actually really like getting into the nitty-gritty of things and actually going behind enemy lines and having a huge amount of fun in the process. Now, it really just depends on what's actually going to go on here. Oh yes, look at our forces. We are getting right into their deepest territories, I guess you could say, inside the actual keep. Gurnir is getting a good amount of kills as well, which I'm very, very happy to see. Now, let's just see what happens now. I mean, how many... Do they have any peasants in here? Because I do know that Harren Hall had a huge amount of peasants, about 70 peasants alone, and so that meant that they only had about 110 regular units. But over here, on the contrary, they have about 100... wait a minute, now. They have 140? 150? I don't know. I can't remember now, but they have about 250 total in really, really good shape, as far as I'm aware. Because obviously some of these are part of Clegane's army, and some of them are part of the garrison, so obviously that is a bit of a problem. Ooh, how are we doing here? I don't know. There's quite a few that seem to be dying, but I think we have the upper hand. I'm not sure about that though, and I'm not sure how many of us have actually perished so far, because if there's been a huge amount of them, then I don't retreat, we might get ourselves taken prisoner, which would be a very bad thing indeed. So let's just weigh things up a little bit and see what happens. Obviously, I'd like my units to get out of that ball. You know, I don't really want them to be in such a ball-type formation. I'd like them to spread out a little bit and try and encircle the opponents and see if they can attack on all sides. But obviously, that's not... Oh, they're seeming to maybe do that a little bit more now. That's good. And it seems like we have attained victory. I'm very surprised about that. I mean, obviously, you know, having Clegane here makes a huge difference to the enemy's defensive measures. But without him, because we eliminated him pretty early on in the siege, then obviously that makes a decent difference, I guess. Alright, Fenner is actually still alive? Wow. Seems like my companions are doing much better than I am. Look at that. Even Carver is alive. Wow. Alright. Seems like I need to redeem myself in the upcoming sieges, or at the very least in an upcoming field battle of some sort. Maybe if I survive 2 battles in a row, or something along those lines, I might be able to redeem myself in the eyes of our troops. But there you go. 255 were eliminated. We lost 46, which is okay. And I killed 53 in total. Oh, there was actually 2 vassals here. Ah. I was under the impression there was only 1, so I must have misread what was actually going on there. But anyway, we do gain a bunch of peasants, which I suppose is quite nice, because, you know, I'm a pretty big fan of peasants, hilariously enough, because I kind of like how good they are defensively, but obviously they're very fragile. Anyway, look at this. Oh yes, this is what we like. We're building a nice little consolidated territory around here, and all we need to do is eliminate Hayford, Antlers, Rosby, Duskendale, which is obviously going to be very tricky, and King's Landing, of course. That's going to be very, very difficult. But once we have eliminated this area here, we will have an utter amazing territory. Really nice consolidation there. And that means the Westerlands will be in their little territory here. The Riverlands will have this very, very slim territory there. And then, of course, we do have, you know, spots of the Stormlands, and the Reach is still a very, very large faction. Dawn hasn't been touched because they haven't really declared war against anyone at the moment, because the Targaryens are not yet in the game. I'm not entirely sure if they still ally themselves with, you know, with those guys. But anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.